Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Khushi. Good afternoon, Praveen. So in this class, we are going to discuss a very important topic that is in the news also. Everybody know about the Kejriwal. He is arrested under the PMLA Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Even the other members of the party are also arrested under the PMLA Act. So the today's topic is money laundering. And Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Act 2002. In short, we can set the PMLA Act 2002. So this will be the topic of discussion for today. From the last 3-4 years, we are looking at the usage of the PMLA Act is increased in the country, mainly specifically related to some of the political heads, even the sitting chief ministers, and some of the other aspects where they are finding out the मनी ट्रेल. आपने बहुत बार ये वर्ड सुना होगा. If you are reading the newspaper, you are listening these kind of the words, the money trail, the laundering. On the basis of this, there's a discussion why the government introduced the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Number one, what exactly is money laundering? How the Indian government framed the act on the money laundering? What the acts include? What are the main objective of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act? And what is the negative side of this act? We also discuss about the negative side of this act. Exactly bail क्यों नहीं मिल रही है? There are different kind of the headings in the news channels. Bail का खेल, money trail, without bail, केजरी को नहीं मिलेगी bail. These kind of the headings you are looking in the newspapers or in the news channels. Instead of the news channel, they become like an entertainment channel. They are fighting on the channels in the live debates. So we will look at a perspective that is a legal perspective. How this PMLA Act of 2002 was framed on the basis of the idea of the international level. Even it's about the FATF, Financial Action Task Force. Even it on the suggestion of the Narasimhan Committee report of 1998 that was related to the banking reforms, that also had a play in the framework of the PMLA Act. Before going into the PMLA Act, first of all, we will discuss about the money laundering. Exactly what is the money laundering? मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग? एग्जैक्टली है क्या? एनीबॉडी? इन दो वर्ड से आपको क्या समझ आता है जिसके बेसिस पे अनलिमिटेड टाइम ऑफ जेल विदाउट एनी बेल? व्हाट डज इट मीन? illegal movement of money unauthorized. It means disguising or concealing the source of illegal money. The source of illegal money. You are taking money from somewhere, from the illegal way or the black money you are using in the different context. You can obtain the money from in the form of the trade of the drug, maybe from the trafficking also, in the form of shell company. There can be the various way through which you can generate the black money. Yes, Khushi, converting black into white, that's a short form. Yes, you can directly say that कि black को white में convert करने का एक illegal तरीका है money laundering. In the case of the money laundering, from where the source they are disguising the source of the money. Exactly what is the source of the money? They are completely blind this source, and or the concealing this source from where the money come. After the generation of the money, there is a second context. Introduce that money into the financial market. आपके पास 5 करोड़ रुपए आ गए कहीं से, अचानक से आपका बैंक अकाउंट क्रेडिट हो जाता है. Introduction of that money into the banking system. Introduction of that money into the financial system through one route or the another route, by investing into some companies, by investing into the gaming company like the future games of the Tamil Nadu, investing into the different kind of trade routes, different kind of drugs, different kind of shell company के through आप invest करेंगे, and you will show the source of the money is a legal source. That term is known as the layering of the money. आपने मनी जनरेट किया, उसके बाद आपने फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम में उसको इंट्रोड्यूस किया थ्रू द डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ द वे. देन द थर्ड स्टेप ऑफ दिस इज अ लेयरिंग. लेयरिंग मीन्स आप उसको कवर कर रहे हो कि नोबडी कैन रीच टू द एग्जैक्ट सोर्स ऑफ द मनी. यू आर शोइंग द सम पार्ट ऑफ दैट मनी इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द Vedanta Limiteds. Some part of the money is coming from the shell company. Some part of the money is coming from your trade business. Some part of the money are coming from the NGO. By doing the different kind of the transactions, that is known as the layering of the money into the market. Then after that, you will start using that money into the different sources. So there are 4 contexts here. So let's understand through a diagram. The number 1, illicit activity. You can make the diagram in your notebook. Illicit activity. Second is the placement. Third is the layering. Third is the layering. Fourth is the use, we can say that infusion into the market, we can say that, or interpretation, we can say that. So these are the 4 idea, or the integration, we can say that. The better word will be the integration of the money into the market. Integration. This is the mainly how money laundering works, in a way to convert the black into the white. सबसे पहले illicit activity. You will do an activity which will generate a huge amount of money through the illegal activity. That illegal activity may be the drug trafficking, second may be the human trafficking as well, various illicit trade practices through the shell companies, may be the various kind of the sources are, maybe the round tripping as well. These are the source that generate the illicit, through the illicit activity you generate a huge amount of money. Now if you are having a huge amount of money, आपके पास 2-4 हजार करोड़ रुपए आ गए, now you need to convert that rupee into the white money. Unless आप white में नहीं convert करोगे तो you cannot use in that into the economy. So that way you will enter how I can place this money into the financial market. Placement of the money into the financial market. कि कैसे मैं financial market में इस money को introduce करूं. There are again the different way. Number 1 way, you can invest into the any company. If you are investing into the any company, they are not asking the source कि कहाँ से आपको money मिला, ठीक है? You are funding any company. You are making your shell company and you are showing that company is producing and that company is generating more profit. Like the future games, future gaming company of Tamil Nadu having the revenue of 300 crores, 400 crores, but they're donating 1500 crores to the government. From where the money came, what's the source of the money, nobody knows. Similar kind of things, the placing that money into the market and you showing that money having a legal source. That money is having a legal source by the placement of the money into the market. After the placement of the money into the market, the third step that's used in this activity is the layering. You will show the money is not from only a single source. They are the multiple source of the money. In the one side you are infusing money, on the another side you are taking money from the banking system. You are taking money out, on the one side you are infusing, on the second side you are taking money out of the banking system or out of the market. After the layering, there is the fourth part, that's the integration. Now, from the illicit activity to the integration, your black money is converted into the white money. That is known as the money laundering activity. Until and unless the government is not identifying, the enforcement directorate is not identifying this activity, your cycle will run smoothly. Take an example of the Delhi liquor scam. In that liquor scam, what kind of the activity, what kind of the money trail is ED is looking out at? किस तरीके की बात कर रहे हैं? आप सोचोगे कि liquor scam हुआ तो उसमें मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का रोल कहां से आ गया? What ED is suggesting, जब दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट ने पॉलिसी बनाई द liquor scam, in that policy they give a profitability to the private sector and took money from that private sector in the term of giving licensing to them and used that money in the election campaigning. So the source, the extra money you are getting after giving the license of the liquor, they can sell into the Delhi. And also they decrease, the government is saying, I'm not saying, the government is saying they decrease the profitability of the government by giving the license to the private sector. And it's lead to the loss of the money to the Delhi government. So that crores of the money, there are different numbers the ED is quoting. Sometimes they are quoting 1000 crores, 500 crores, 300 crores, 1200 crores. The number is different. So they are saying the Aam Aadmi Party used that money into the election campaigning of Goa. Sometimes they are using the election money is used in the making the different kind of the offices. अलग-अलग तरीके से उन्होंने use किया है. And they are giving a different kind of the reason behind the arrest of the Arvind Kejriwal related to the same issue. So that can also be the one kind of the money laundering through the illicit trade activity. That's a kind of the trade activity. Initially, when the Prevention of Money Laundering Act was introduced, it was solely based on the drug trafficking only. इसका जो concept था introduce करने का, that was the drug trafficking. In the United Nations meeting of 1988, in the UN meeting of 1988, it was concluded that the drug trafficking is become a more dangerous to the country because it is generating a side by side another economy. Drug trafficking is generating the huge amount of the money that will lead to the crisis in any of the country government. To tackle this, we need to make a law. To tackle this, we need to make a law. That law finally shaped into India the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. इसके पीछे की बहुत कहानी है. PMLA एक्ट आने से पहले फाइनेंशियल एक्शन टास्क फोर्स को बनाया गया. तो फाइनेंशियल एक्शन टास्क फोर्स was generated in 1989. After the financial action task force, it's so pressure on all the country in the world to create their unit as well, which can keep an eye on the money laundering. After the suggestion in the 1998 by the Nasiman Committee of the banking system, there is a various amount of the money flowing into the banking system that is the unaccounted money. So what is the source of that money? So Nasiman Committee suggested to the finance ministry, we need to look out at this source of the money. That is also the one of the reason for the PMLA Act of 2002. तो यहां से कहानी स्टार्ट होती है पीएमएलए एक्ट 2002 की। बट व्हेन द मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग होता है तो उसका इंपैक्ट क्या क्या होगा? Before going into the PMLA Act 2002, we will discuss in detail about the PMLA Act. But what is the impact? What is the impact of money laundering? There can be the three kind. The number one, economic impact. One is the economic impact. Second is the social impact. And third is the political impact. These are the three main impacts of the money laundering activity that can have on any country. Even India, even Pakistan, Australia, USA, France, कहीं पे भी हो तो these can be the three main heads under which the impact of the money laundering can be addressed. Even in the UPSC mains question, there was a direct question on the money laundering in 2021. 2021 में directly impacts पे question पूछा गया है in the money laundering. When you look at your syllabus, there is a complete term is given about the money laundering under the GS3 security issues में given है. So the topic become more important with the each perspective of the mains examination as well. So in the case of the economic impact, if we are coming to the first impact, what can be the first impact in the economy? क्या हो सकता है? Idea? Yes. Number one, you can write the loss of revenue to government. Second, there can be the impact on the private investment. Because if there is a huge amount of money laundering through the private sector, then there will be a decrease in the trust level on the private sector. They are leading to generate the huge amount of the money laundering or the huge amount of the money. That is having the impact on the private sector, or that also having an impact on the investment in the country. Third पे देखते हैं, loss of revenue under the different heads, the tax loss to the government. If there is a huge amount of the money flowing into the market, that will lead to increase in the inflation into the market. Inflation होगा कि नहीं होगा? If initially there are 2000 crores rupee in the market, अचानक से वो 3000 करोड़ हो जाता है. The demand of the money, supply of the money into the market is increased. Most of the people, those who are in the activity having the huge money into their market, so in the long term it will affect the inflation in the market as well. Debagraha, counter facing of money, running of parallel economy. Yes, the next point is the running of parallel economy. Running of parallel economy. In this case, you can write parallel economy like one economy that the running through the legible source by the government, the white money. We know the source of the each rupee in the market, from where the money is coming. अगर मैंने 1 रुपये भी अर्न किया तो वो कहाँ से आया? If I am spending the 1 rupee, वो कहाँ पे मैंने spend किया? That is the knowing amount of the money, government को जिसका पता होता है. The second case where the government does not know the source, from where the money is come, from where and where the money is going. That source of the origin and the source of and the not known to the government, that is known as the parallel economy. And they are running parallel to each other. It's having a huge area. According to the data of the UN, United Nations and IMF, in the world GDP, the money laundering contribute to 3 to 5% of the world GDP. Money laundering contribute 3 to 5% of the world GDP. ज्यादा पैसा आता है तो गैम्बलिंग भी इंक्रीज होता है, टीम भी बनाई जाती है, चलो टीम बनाते हैं, आईपीएल आ गया. That also lead to increase in the gambling. Poker, different kind of the poker series on the gaming industry की बात करें, that all are the illicit activity related to the money laundering in most of the cases, not in all the cases. तो gambling भी increase होगा, black salaries भी बढ़ेंगी. If I'm looking at, if a person is having a huge amount of the black money, he will open his industry and employ. The black salaries into the market also increase. And the next economic impact is transaction laundering. You can write the transaction laundering. Transaction laundering means showing the fake transactions. मैंने एक शूज खरीदा, the shoes cost could be 50 lakh. I am owning a painting, the painting cost could be 20 crores. In the higher level, you are looking at any person is buying the painting of 5 crore, 10 crore, 20 crores. What's that kind of? That's not the value of the painting. That is the way to clean the money from black to white. These are different kind of the sources used, how we can convert the money from black to white. Similarly, related to the watches also, the high cost watch industry or surviving on these kind of the things. If I'm buying any of the high cost watch, even I don't know about the brand, the watch is costing me 10 crores. These all are the way to convert the black money into the white money. देवग्रह डिमांड पुल इन्फ्लेशन बहुत ज्यादा इंपैक्ट नहीं करेगा बिकॉज मनी आर इन द फ्यूअर एंड्स. अगर मैं बोलूं तो 100 लोग अगर रहते हैं तो 2 लोगों के हाथ में ही मनी आता है. दैट इज नॉट जनरेटिंग द डिमांड. अदर 98 है ऑन द सेम लेवल. दैट्स अ डिमांड पुल इन्फ्लेशन का कोई ज्यादा इंपैक्ट नहीं होगा. ओके, नाउ these are the economic impact. I hope these impacts are clear to everyone. Clear है सबको? Now comes to the social impact. What is the social impact of the money laundering? Social impact. Social impact की बात करते हैं तो let's connect with the society. तभी social impact होगा. What is the impact on society? Trust deficit. Trust deficit, we can say that that's come under the economic end, not under the societal end.
Government won't be able to spend on welfare schemes, and there is loss of revenue.
Yes, decrease in the spending. We cannot say कि blanket spend बंद हो जाएगा. Decrease in the spending on welfare. Because the loss in the government taxation revenue. Second क्या होगा बताइए? Yes, that's under the heads we can use the keyword increase criminality. Increase criminality into the society. Increase criminality की बात करें तो आपको पता होगा कि different kind of gangs war होते रहते हैं. मुंबई में अलग गैंग वॉर चल रहा है, पंजाब में अलग चला हुआ. That is the increased criminality due to the money laundering activity. क्यों गैंग वॉर होते हैं? What's the reason behind it? The money. One person is sponsoring the 20 crores for killing the another person. So what's the source of that 20 crores? And that's in the round circle. यहां से स्टार्ट होगा, दोबारा यहां पे आ जाएगा, फिर से यहां पे स्टार्ट होगा, खत्म होगा और सर्कल में चलता रहेगा. So it will increase the criminality into the society. Increase in और क्या इंक्रीज होगा? Drug consumption of drugs. Consumption of drugs market में increase होगा. We can take the well example of Punjab, where the drug is impacting the individuals. जब ड्रग का इम्पैक्ट होगा तो वी कैन डायरेक्टली से दैट द इम्पैक्ट ऑन द ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट, impact on human development. All points are linking with each other. सिमिलर लेवल पे आपको अपने मेंस एग्जामिनेशन में थिंक करके लिखना होता है. इफ स्पेंडिंग डिक्रीज होगी, स्पेंडिंग डिक्रीज होने से भी ये लिंक करेगा ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट. इंक्रीज क्रिमिनलिटी को इंक्रीज करेंगे, ड्रग्स के कंजप्शन भी इंक्रीज हो रहा है और इसके साथ साथ ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट को फिर से इंपैक्ट कर रहा है. यू नीड टू think in the multiple perspective exactly when you are writing your mains answer. You need to be look at the different kind of dimension, what kind of dimension I can write in the answer. So we look at the economic perspective, then the social perspective. Next we can write about the resource allocation, also having an impact on the resource allocation in the society. So these are the social impact of the drug trafficking. तो ये social impact है drug trafficking के. Now come to the political impact. What can be the political impact? Yes, good. Political impact. Unfair elections. We can say that, yes. Increase in criminalization of politics. Criminalization of politics increase होगा. People trust start decrease into the political system. Decrease in the trust, and also it will increase the instability into the government. Instability into the government. It will lead to the instability into the government. So this is about the money laundering. सबसे पहले हमने देखा exactly what is the money laundering, how money laundering works, then what are the impacts of money laundering, economic impact, social impact, and the political impact. So what can be the other source of money laundering? क्या क्या हो सकते हैं? Any idea? Impact नहीं, source. What can be the source of money laundering? कहां से हो सकता है? Betting. तो इसमें आप लिख लीजिए through the shell companies. सोर्स की बात करूंगा तो मैं आप लिख लीजिए थ्रू द शेल कंपनीज, थ्रू इलिसिट ट्रेड, शेल कंपनी थ्रू इलिसिट ट्रेड्स, थ्रू गैम्बलिंग, round tripping, what is the meaning of round tripping here? क्या मीनिंग है राउंड ट्रिपिंग का? टैक्स एमनेस्टी. राउंड ट्रिपिंग का मीनिंग होता है when a company showing having the multiple branches in the different country, in the one places they are showing it like there is a huge production in that company and they are investing through India in that company, but the company is producing no product and they are saving the taxes and they are generating the black money. Again investing the generated black money into the market of India. दोबारा से वहां से लाके फिर इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट कर देंगे कि वहां से हमने जनरेट किया, वी आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन इंडिया, बट दैट इज द मनी only from the India generated through the black ways, again invested as a white money into the India. So that's a kind of the round tripping. This is an economic term. Round tripping के through भी they can generate the black money. Tax amnesty. Tax amnesty means the different kind of tax benefits the government is giving to the various kind of the companies. That tax benefits can be used by in the different methods by the different company to make illicit profits. That's unaccounted profits. That can also be a way of the money laundering. Decrease in democracy as illegal groups may also influence. Yes, वोटिंग चॉइसेस इंपैक्ट होता है डायरेक्टली. अगर वी आर लुकिंग एट अ केस ऑफ द कैम्ब्रिज एनालिटिका, कैम्ब्रिज एनालिटिका का ये केस था, उस केस में देयर इज अ having a direct impact on the voters and their choices of voting. Okay, Debagara. So this is about the money laundering. Now let's come to the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. इसको प्रधानमंत्री लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्ट नहीं पढ़ना है. You need to be look at the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. This act prevent like from the words, this act prevent the money laundering, prevent money laundering, and the main ये लोग क्या काम करते हैं, the confiscation of the property, confiscation of property generated but from the that kind of money. आप कभी भी देखोगे न्यूज आती है, ईडी ने 250 करोड़ के एसेट अटैच किए, ईडी ने जल बोर्ड के 150 करोड़ के एसेट अटैच किए, कल की ही न्यूज है. ईडी अटैच द एसेट्स ऑफ XYZ फ्रॉम द 1000 crores. So that assets, the confiscation of the property, that is written under the PMLA Act. The confiscation of the property, if you're generating any of the property from the money laundering illicit activity, the enforcement directorate, though you're looking at the PMLA activities, will confiscate your assets. That is the main objective of this act, so you can write about it. The PMLA Act of 2002, PMLA Act of 2002 is an act of Parliament of India, is an act of Parliament of India enacted to prevent money laundering, enacted to prevent money laundering and provide for the confiscation of property, provide for confiscation, CONFISCATION, confiscation of property derived from money laundering. It aims to combat money laundering, related to illegal activities such as drug trafficking, smuggling, terrorism financing, etc. Now look at the key provision of PMLA Act. What are the key provisions? Key provision of PMLA Act 2002. सबसे पहले लिखेंगे offense and penalties. Number 1 is offense and penalties. In offense and penalties, under this act, money laundering is defined as a offense under the PMLA Act. If anybody is involving in the money laundering cases, that is the offense under the PMLA Act. And the penalties may be the fine of multi crores, maybe the jail, and also the confiscation of the property by the enforcement directorate. These are the penalty under the act. So this is the first provision. लिखिए इसके बारे में, offense and penalties. PMLA define money laundering offenses and imposes penalties for such activities. It includes rigorous imprisonment. And fine for offenders. Next is second, attachment and confiscation of properties, जो हमने अभी बात करी, confiscation of property. If any of the property that is derived from the money laundering activity, either directly or indirectly, any of the property which is derived from the money laundering money activities, either directly or indirectly, the enforcement directorate will attach that property, will confiscate that property. So this is the second key provision of the PMLA Act. The first key provision, what is the offense under the Act? So money laundering is defined as an offense under the Act. Second, after the offense, your property that is related to the money laundering activities will be confiscated by the enforcement directorate. Third point के बारे में लिखेंगे, reporting requirements. The third is reporting requirements. Reporting requirements, what does it mean? कोई idea? Reporting requirements. How does ED know about the money laundering? There may be some institution that will give the information to the enforcement directorate. Maybe there is a different kind of the investigation team which are looking at these kind of the illegal activities. So under the Act, it is written that there should be a reporting requirement regarding the money laundering to the enforcement directorate, and that reporting requirement may be the banking system and financial units, क्योंकि मनी ट्रेल इज इन्वॉल्व, तो इनसे बेहतर कौन हो सकता है? बैंकिंग सिस्टम एंड फाइनेंशियल यूनिट. तो लिखे इसके बारे में, PMLA mandates certain entities such as banks and financial institutions to maintain records of transaction, and report suspicious transaction to the financial intelligence units. Fourth point is designate authority and appellate tribunals. If anybody is arrested on the basis of the PMLA Act, there should be a specific tribunals. So designate authority कौन है? ED, yes. And the appellate tribunal, there are specific tribunals for the PMLA Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Acts. Designate authority is the enforcement directorate. आप लोगों ने सुना भी होगा, in the different cases in Delhi, the PMLA केसेस को सिर्फ राउस एवेन्यू कोर्ट में ही सबसे पहले लेके जाया जाता है. If you are reading the newspaper, every time they are taking the name of this court. the Rouse Avenue court. Kejriwal applied for the bail in the Rouse Avenue courts. ED take for the bail into the Rouse Avenue court. This Rouse Avenue court is the PMLA court. Is the PMLA court in Delhi. So this PMLA court will listen against the appeal, the both party and ED and also the जिसके ऊपर charge लगाया गया. So this is the fourth designated authority and the appellate tribunals. So these are the four main provision of the PMLA Act of 2002. अब देखते हैं ED काम कैसे करता है. How ED works. The first is the prevention. First is the prevention of money laundering. कि सबसे बेटर वे तो यही है कि मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग होने से बचा ही लो. Then the detection. If they are notable in the first step, then the next step is the detection of the money laundering cases. I will look at the different kind of the cases according to the reports of the financial intelligence units, or maybe the different kind of the banking system, those who report about the different kind of the illegal transaction there. Then detection, if I'm agree with the reports, if I find the loopholes, if I find the money trail, then next step will be the confiscation of the property. Confiscation of property. तो ये थर्ड स्टेप होता है ईडी. द फोर्थ, if there is an international party involved, is the international cooperation. In that case, the international cooperation of the different countries is also required in the money laundering cases. So how this works? The prevention, detection, confiscation and the international cooperation. तो ये रिक्वायरमेंट रहता है. तो सबसे पहले I am introducing this topic, I told you about why the requirement of the PMLA Act. जब इतने सारे बहुत सारे एक्ट पहले से ही हैं, why there is a special requirement of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So let's look at that point also. Number one reason was illicit drug trade. Illicit drug trade. Specifically related to the narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. PSYCHOTROPIC, psychotropic substances. The meeting was held in 1988 in the UN General Assembly regarding the illicit drug trades and narcotic drugs and the psychotropic drugs substances. इसके बाद अगर आप देखोगे तो इंडिया में narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances act भी है, that is also focusing on the illegal trades of the narcotic drugs in the country. That was the first reason. The UN suggested that the illicit drug activity is generating the huge amount of the money that can baffle any of the economy in the world. So we need to be look out what can be the possible solution for it. So we need a unit for it. The next point may they generate the financial, there is a formation of the Financial Action Task Force. In the second case, there is a formation of FATF, Financial Action Task Force formation. In this illegal drug trade may IMF give a data more than 3 to 5% of the world GDP is related to the drug trafficking. 3 से 5% of world GDP is related to the drug trafficking. And this financial action task force was formed in 1989. 1989 में इस फाइनेंशियल एक्शन टास्क फोर्स को बना दिया गया. Then in the third case, adoption by the Indian Parliament. जब वर्ल्ड लेवल पे एक यूनिट बनी तो इट्स अडोप्टेड बाय द इंडियन पार्लियामेंट ऑल्सो. Adoption by Indian Parliament, and they formed the act of PMLA Act 2002. लेकिन इससे पहले in 1998 there was a suggestion from the Narsimhan Committee that was on the banking system. This Narsimhan Committee in the 1998 suggested for the importance of addressing the money laundering concern. So after the suggestion of this committee, after the formation of the Financial Action Task Force in 1989, the government of India passed the Act of the PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002. इससे पहले हमने अभी नार्कोटिक ड्रग्स की बात करी थी. In 1985, under the IPC, the government also passed the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act. लिख लीजिए, नार्कोटिक ड्रग्स एंड साइकोट्रोपिक सब्सटेंस एक्ट. Psychotropic Substance Act 1985. Before the PMLA, this act was also passed. Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act 1985. Any idea under which article of the Indian Constitution the PMLA Act was introduced? किस स्पेसिफिक आर्टिकल के अंडर है इन इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन? ये प्रीलिम्स में क्वेश्चन हो सकता है. That can be the question into the prelims. किसी भी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं, किसी भी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के सजेशन को इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए there is a specific article in the Indian Constitution. That article is article number 253. लिख लीजिए इसके बारे में. This is an important article 253. Article 253. I am dictating right about first, फिर मैं बताता हूँ. The PMLA Act was enacted by Indian Parliament under Article 253, which empowers it to make laws for implementing LAWS, laws for implementing the international conventions. Laws for implementing the international conventions. अब लिखेंगे next. This article indicate that a law parliament makes to implement any decision of international body. Yes, this article indicate that a parliament makes to implement any decision of an international body will be confined to the subject matter of that decision. Will be confined to the subject matter of that decision. Will be confined to the subject matter of that decision. This comes under item 13 of Union List. Item 13 of Union List under Schedule 7. Item 13 of Union List under Schedule 7. Now, according to this article, if the government of India want to implement any of the decision of the international body, like the Financial Action Task Force is an international body, an international law. If the government of India want to apply any of the suggestion of the international body, they will use the article number 253 and they will implement into the country. But that differ, if you read the last line, the tail line, they differ according to the different kind of situation. किस में use करना है, किस में नहीं, that will be under the hand of the Indian Parliament. So this can be an important for your prelims examination, article 253. क्योंकि बहुत बार बात हो रही है PMLA ED, PMLA ED, केजरीवाल PMLA ED. They are talking again and again, again and again. So the UPSC will ask question from it, 253, rather than the act, because your syllabus is polity and constitution. So the constitutional perspective is required here. Okay. Now, हमने देखा मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, we look at the PMLA Act. Now we look at the concern. What are the major concerns regarding the PMLA Act? Concern regarding the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. आप लोगों को क्या कंसर्न लगता है? What can be the major concern regarding this act? क्या क्या हो सकता है? Specifically, the first issue, broad definition. मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग की बात करूं, द इनिशियली डेट वाज इंट्रोड्यूस फॉर ओनली फॉर द इलिसिट ड्रग ट्रेड. नाउ द ईडी इज नाउ फाइलिंग ईच केस अंडर द पीएमएलए. So there is no clarity regarding which case should go under the PMLA, which case should not. The second issue, आप लोगों ने सुना ही होगा बेल का खेल. If any person is arrested under the PMLA, easily उसको बेल नहीं मिलती है. Where the bail is your fundamental right. Bail is the fundamental right, but under the PMLA, they are not getting the bail. Recently, there is an amendment related to that one. Initially, there was a phrase used, innocent till proven guilty. This was a phrase in the every act. जब तक आपके ऊपर प्रूव नहीं हो जाता कि आपने क्राइम किया है, यू आर क्रिमिनल, तब तक आप इनोसेंट हो. एंड जब तक आपके ये इनोसेंट हो तो यू हैव द राइट ऑफ द बेल ऑल्सो. दिस इज द फ्रेज इन द ईच लॉ इन द कंट्री, बट अंडर द पीएमएलए दे चेंज दीज वर्ड्स. accused till proven innocent. Accused till proven innocent. वर्ड्स देखोगे तो सेम ही यूज है, लेकिन डिफरेंट वे में यूज किया है. यहां पे आप इनोसेंट हो जब तक आपको गिल्टी प्रूव नहीं हो जाती. आपको अपने आप को इनोसेंट प्रूव करना, नहीं तो आप एक्यूज हो. अगर आप नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो आप एक्यूज हो. मीन्स दैट द प्रूवन क्राइटेरिया तो ईडी के हाथ में है ना. दे विल प्रूव यू आर नॉट अ इनोसेंट, बट एक्यूज को यहां पे खुद को प्रूव करना पड़ रहा है कि ही इज नॉट एन इनोसेंट. So, until the accused is not able to prove he is an innocent, he will not get the bail. The case of the Manish Sisodia, I am not saying he is innocent, but as the different kind of discussion is showing, the bail to the Satyendra Jain and also the bail to the different kind of personality in the politicians related to the PMLA. So that is again the major issue related to it. और क्या हो सकता है? Large number of offenses under the PMLA, the ED is charging the different kind of the offenses to the various number of the cases. there was a data related more than 3,500 cases are filed in the last 3-4 years. Only the result of the 4 cases came. 3,500-4,000 में से 4 केसेस का ही रिजल्ट अभी तक आया. Those person who are involved as an accused in these cases of 4,000 cases, they are in the jail till now. क्योंकि जब तक रिजल्ट नहीं आएगा तो बेल भी नहीं मिलेगी. बेल नहीं मिलेगी तो तब तक आपको जेल में ही रहना होगा. That is also the major concern regarding the PMLA Act 2002. इस लाइन का एक बहुत बड़ा मीनिंग है. बर्डन ऑन एक्यूज, बर्डन ऑन एक्यूज जो हमने अभी बात करी, the proof he is an innocent, the complete burden is now transferred to the accused. कि आपको प्रूव करना है कि you are not an innocent. Even the enforcement directorate is not having the solid reason. They are just having the information कि money trail हुआ है, money laundering हुई है. But the proven should be through the accused कि वही प्रूव करेगा कि मैं एक innocent हूँ. Until he is not able to prove, he will be in the jail. So that's the another kind of the issue with that. So लिखें इसके बारे में. Write down the headings. The different concern regarding the PMLA Act 2002. The concern regarding the PMLA Act 2002. Number 1. Proceeds of crimes. Proceeds of crime. Proceed of crimes is a broad term. लिखें. Proceed of crime is a broad term that is given under PMLA Act. This definition is a broad definition. A broad definition and has the potential to encompass encompass lawful financial transaction as well. Lawful financial transaction as well. Means इसका meaning क्या हुआ? That's a broad term is given. The broad term is given the proceed of crime. The broad term is given the proceeds of crime. Means this is a very broad definition. They can link any proceed with the crime. This is in the hand of the ED. If this is a direct line of the money laundering, the one person is linked from here, one is linked from origin, second is linked from here, fourth is from here. The last person who is withdrawing money from the bank account is not aware about the money laundering there. ED can also attach the assets of this person as well. So there is a broad definition of the proceed of crime given. So in this case, in the sum of the lawful activity also, in the sum of lawful transaction also, the ED can attach the assets. That's a broad definition. So there should be the category given under the proceeds of the crime, the which type of the crime you are going to include into the money laundering. Next लिखें. Large number of offences. Large number of offences. Third लिखें. Burden of proof on accused. Burden of proof on accused. Next लिखें. Overreach by officers. Now there is a power in the hand of ED. Overreach means they can also arrest any person without giving any notice. Overreach by the officials. Overreach by the officials. stringent bail condition, stringent bail condition, means PMLA एक्ट लिखें इसी के अंदर, PMLA एक्ट turn principle of innocent until proven guilty, innocent until proven guilty to accused until proven innocent, accused until proven innocent. नेक्स्ट लिखेंगे, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट मतलब नेक्स्ट हेडिंग्स, अरेस्ट ऑफ पर्सन विदाउट रिटन कम्युनिकेशन, अरेस्ट ऑफ पर्सन विदाउट रिटन कम्युनिकेशन of ground of arrest, this violate which article of Indian Constitution? Violation लिखें, violation of article 22 clause 1 of Indian Constitution. If the someone is arresting you without any notice, yes, it will violate the article 22, it will violate Article 22 clause 1 of the Indian Constitution. So these are the issue related to the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So if I am make a summary of this class, the first we discuss about the money laundering, how it works, different kind of impacts is the social, economic, social and the political. We also discuss about the different way of money laundering, then we discussed about the PMLA Act of 2002. Under this act we have various subheads like the origin of the PMLA Act 2002, why there is a need of the PMLA Act, then the components under the PMLA Act, what are the objectives of the PMLA, then the shortcomings of PMLA, things related to the prelims, Article 22 and Article 253. So this is the summary we discussed here. There was a question for the mains in the UPSC 2021. Let me tell you about that question also. लिख लीजिए क्वेश्चन के बारे में. Discuss how emerging technology, the question of mains 2021. Mains 2021. Discuss how technology and globalization contribute to money laundering. Elaborate. Elaborate measures to tackle the problem of money laundering, both national and international level. So this was a question in 2021. Both the national and international level. We need to be right here the combination of technology and the globalization on the money laundering. How? Any idea? There are the keywords. Technology and globalization, then contribution to money laundering. Means first half of the question में क्या लिखोगे? सबसे पहले तो you should have a data related to the money laundering, जो मैंने आपको बताया 3 से 5% मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग कंट्रीब्यूट करता है, तो डायरेक्टली इंट्रोडक्शन में लिख दो. Then come to the body part. In the body part, we will focus on technology and globalization. Technology, bitcoins, transactions, different kind of transaction at the world levels. Bitcoins में different kind of the multiple type of the coins are there. We can say that digital currency के बारे में जो यूज हो रहे हैं. That is linking with the money laundering directly. कोई कंट्रोल नहीं है गवर्नमेंट का. Directly related to the technology. That technology cannot be deciphered until and unless उतना टेक्निक के बारे में आपको पता है. ग्लोबलाइजेशन की वजह से क्यों बढ़ा? क्योंकि these bitcoins is now available in the each country even without the regulation. जो ग्लोबलाइजेशन है, जो कनेक्ट करता है डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ पीपल्स को थ्रू डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, थ्रू डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ द ग्लोबलाइजेशन एफर्ट्स एंड द डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी मिक्स करके यू नीड टू बी राइट द 4 to 5 points there. How the technology is and globalization both linking together and they are leading to the money laundering activity. अब मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्टिविटी हवाला भी उसमें से एक एक्टिविटी है. दैट हवाला इज नाउ शिफ्टेड टू टेक्नोलॉजी. इसमें राउंड ट्रिपिंग भी इन्वॉल्व होता है, वहां पे भी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज होता है. इसमें स्पेसिफिकली बिटकॉइंस टेक्नोलॉजी, बिटकॉइंस भी यूज होते हैं स्पेसिफिक. हाँ, बैटिंग ऑनलाइन गेमिंग बैटिंग एट द इंटरनेशनल लेवल. अभी आप कुछ एप्स देखोगे, वहां पे किसी दूसरी कंट्री में ही मैच चल रहा है, आपको पता भी नहीं है कौन प्लेयर है क्या है. यू कैन टेक अ बैटिंग फ्रॉम इंडिया, यू कैन प्ले अ गेम. हाँ, ड्रीम सर्कल 11 कुछ भी है, माई सर्कल 11, देयर आर डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ एप्स. तो हाउ द टेक्नोलॉजी इज एम्बेडेड इनटू द ईच काइंड ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल्स एंड दैट कैन आल्सो लीड टू द डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ टेररिज्म एक्टिविटी. तो यही आप एक आंसर लिखना है इन द फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन.
ब्लैक मार्केट से,
हाँ, शेयर मार्केट के थ्रू भी जा सकता है, टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू. ठीक है. इलेबोरेट measures to tackle the problems of the money laundering with national and international level. क्या क्या एक्शन ले सकते हैं? सबसे पहला आप लिखेंगे फाइनेंशियल एक्शन टास्क फोर्स के बारे में, जो एक इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे एक एजेंसी है जो कंट्रोल करती है मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्टिविटीज को. इसमें आप डिफरेंट एग्जांपल मेंशन करेंगे. बैन ऑन द पाकिस्तान पुट ऑन द ग्रे लिस्ट. कुछ कंट्री को ग्रे लिस्ट में डाला, कुछ कंट्री को ब्लैक लिस्ट में डाला. IMF का कंट्रीब्यूशन लिखेंगे इसके बारे में. देन इंडिया में PMLA एक्ट के बारे में लिखेंगे. PMLA एक्ट के बारे में बताएंगे एग्जैक्टली हाउ इट्स हैंडलिंग, कैसे स्टॉप किया जा सकता है. वी कैन नीड टू इम्प्रूव अवर फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन, द फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजेक्शन को रिकॉर्ड करके डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ द लॉ बना के जहाँ पे अप्रूवल रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर द लार्जर ट्रांजेक्शंस. वी नीड टू मेक अ सिक्योरिटी चेक डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ पॉइंट्स पे. तो यहाँ पे 2 हेड्स बनाएंगे आप, वन एट द नेशनल लेवल, सेकेंड एट द इंटरनेशनल लेवल. Then the demand of the question will be complete. तो आपको कीवर्ड्स को मेनली ध्यान में रखना है. सिंपल मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग नहीं लिखना, टेक्नोलॉजी एंड ग्लोबलाइजेशन विद मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग लिखना है. सो लुक हाउ दे आर लिंकिंग सोसाइटी. ग्लोबलाइजेशन सोसाइटी में आता है आपके, ठीक है. टेक्नोलॉजी, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी GS3 में आता है. मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग GS3 सिक्योरिटी इश्यू में आता है. साइंस, सोसाइटी, सिक्योरिटी, तीनों को मिला के एक क्वेश्चन. एंड मेजर्स नेशनल और इंटरनेशनल लेवल के साथ में पूछे. तो इट्स नॉट लाइक कि सिर्फ बुक से ही सब कुछ हो सकता है. यू नीड टू बी थिंक इन द डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव्स. व्हेन यू आर रीडिंग द न्यूज़पेपर यू आर फाइंडिंग दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग कि टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्टिविटी बढ़ी है. तो आपको माइंड में उसी टाइम क्लिक करना चाहिए, दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर माई मेंस एग्जामिनेशन. यू नीड टू मेक नोट्स देयर. Whenever you are reading any of the topic, you need to be thinking the different perspective. What can be the social impact? What can be the geographical impact? What can be the political impact? What can be the economical impact? What can be the ethical concern? What can be the impact on the society? If you're thinking in these kind of the perspective, you will find out there is a huge range, you can write the points there. अगर मैं अपने आप को स्टिक कर लेता हूं, जो मुझे लिख के दे दिया वही मुझे रटना है, आई एम नॉट एबल टू थिंक इन दैट मैटर दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दिस एग्जामिनेशन. Okay, so we will meet next on the next Friday with a different kind of the new topics that related to both prelims and the mains. This is done from my side. If you have any doubts online, Debak Raha Khushi, you can ask any question from here, or we will meet on the next Friday. So try to write this question. इसको लिखो, next class में मुझे दिखाना. We will look at how you're writing your answers, what can be the more dimension can be included, what is your approach to the question, what is your structuring to the answer. So I will look at, so you can write in the 250 words, 15 marker questions. So try to write this question in the next class. Okay, thank you everyone.